Good morning. Here we go. Let's do this quick. Um, Nothing's really changed. Yes, we're down, but we're not down anything significant. 24,900 about. I would expect us to hit and then bounce up into here. 25,4, somewhere around there. If we break this, then we'd have to watch 24,750 and then again 24,449. That's the low that we're looking to break. If we break that, then we can go lower. But if we just hang out up in here, that makes us want to go higher. Let's look at the VIX. Again, the market has a VIX problem. The VIX wants to break out. So how do you reconcile that? I buy VIX and I buy stocks that I like. That's what I do. I don't short the Qs. I don't do anything with the indices. I buy individual stocks and I buy VIX for protection. Is today going to be the day that VIX goes? Who knows? It's looking pretty bullish though. 50 above the 200. This is just the hourly, but the daily looks like you want to cross the 50 above the 200. I mean, you've broken out on the RSI. This looks like it wants to spike, but it could very easily roll over. VIX is in a precarious spot. If you go to the Qs, that bounce would get us, if we get that bounce. See, we're pretty wide open here on the RSI, showing me that we probably have some downside here to go still. There. So this would put support. See, this is right around support here, which is right because 604 is the 5MA. So we would expect that to hold at least above that for the day to remain bullish. Below the 5MA is not bullish. But we are above this trend line still. So I still expect us to come up here into 615, 616. The high expected move for today is 617.25. So that's a big move. That makes sense. That's all the way up here. All the way up here. That's where I think if the market were to reject, I think this is where it would reject. I think we would come up here and then the market would sell off hard if that's what it wanted to do. So that would make sense as a proposed or an expected move today. And it makes sense because Friday was such a big move. So Mondays are usually continuations. You would kind of expect a big continuation. But we'll see. I mean, I do. I expect this to push up. It might not today. I mean, they can delay these. We can do nothing today, go nowhere, then push up tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever they want to do with this. But I expect us to hit this 617, 618 range before we go down. So I would say before we break this low, of 593, I think we hit 617 before we break 593. That would be my guess. And I would even say before we break 600. 600. Yeah. I think we probably hold, this is like 599.16. So maybe we crack 600 a little. But yeah, I think we go higher before we go a lot lower. If the direction is a lot lower. I'm not certain it is yet. It could be, but I mean, the VIX is telling us that there's a big down move coming, or at least a big scary event coming. But it doesn't tell us when. So that's what I'm looking at for the cues. I mean, I'm still looking for this to push up. This is still, I mean, this is still pretty bullish looking. Retail looks good. Oh, look, Under Armour got a moo alert. Funny. Yep, I expect this to pop. I expect these all to pop. I'm looking for Gap to run. Gap is the one that I want to run out of this. Out of this long, well, Gap and American Eagle and Puma, but this is a huge, long trend line. So I don't want to see Gap do this. I want to see Gap take off out here. And I think we've got better support on the moving averages than we did here. Yeah, I want Gap to push out of this. Same with American Eagle. Long trend line. Long trend line. Let's see if we can break out of this thing. Oil. These stocks looked great. Let's see if they. Yeah, this is just little pullbacks. These all look great to continue pushing up. Uranium was a hit and miss. And it's getting hit today. Olive Energy, as it appears at the moment. These are getting hit, so that turnaround does not look good. Neo looking good to continue up. Iridium, I think we're going to flatline here for another little bit before we go. Huntsman should be in that. Here we drop to 1140. Again, after market, I hate that. Just do it during market. That's the problem with a lot of these stocks. Like, I'll go to SMR just because I was looking at that today. This thing won't get oversold because they do all the selling after hours. So this can just creep down selling forever because it hits the big drops after hours when no one's freaking there. That's driving me bonkers that they do that crap. But see how they do that when there's no volume here. No one's doing this. This is just a computer off of like 500 shares making this move. So dumb. But I digress. You need to see this during market hours. That's why when there's big moves uh, outside of market hours, I just don't count them. The non-existent to me. It doesn't mean anything. Um, and that's why on the longer charts, I take all the aftermarket hours out. When I look at weekly and monthly charts, those don't have aftermarket pricing. I don't even think my daily charts have aftermarket pricing. No, because it's it's not real. That's not real. That is not price discovery. That's manipulation. Um, you could say that about all the charts all the time, but I mean, this is when they do it with low volume like that. When there's no other participants, that's complete manipulation. That's a computer setting a specific target so that it makes a specific uh, formation in the moving averages, and then it creates a direction. But this is just computers messing with charts, basically. All right, let's see. What is quantum gonna eat it today, or is it gonna get a little pump back up? No, looks like it's gonna eat it. Deft, that continues to go down. I got out of that. It looks like it go to zero now. Triple D, I'm watching that to see if we get a bid here. Uh, let's look at Sun Run. That's nothing. No worries about that. When I look at pre-market or post-market, I want to see big moves. Like if it's 1, 2, 2.5%, that's nothing. Um, I'm looking for 4 or 5% moves because that's something. That's people in there moving it. Like these 2% moves, that's nothing. That can change in an instant as soon as that gets volume. But a 4 or 5+ % move, that's someone in there moving it. So all these are just doing nothing. I mean, all these volumes, all these percent drops, all that's nothing. You can't take anything from any of that. So it looks like today would be a good day to sleep in for me. Um, I don't know how everybody else plays this market. Maybe you day trade. Uh, I don't. I look at things that I want to buy, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot popping up on that chart. Maybe there will be closer to close. So since it's still 4 in the morning, I think I'm going to go back to bed. But here we'll go to the cues to close this out. I might be interested if we can get a a bid here and start ripping up, but I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe yet. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's see if we. No, this is definitely vibeless. I mean, maybe we drop, yeah, 601.90, then bounce up. I kind of have the belief we get in this just middling day to day. There's no real news. Trump speaks tomorrow, and then there's some other bit of data tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'm of the belief we kind of bounce around today, and then we get bigger moves later, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then going in later into the week. But yeah, I don't see a whole lot going on. It looks like the miners are bouncing a little. Again, these are just 1% and 2% moves, so that's nothing. And I think silver was up quite a bit. Um, yeah, silver's up 5%, and those miners are only up 2%. So that tells me that they want to sell the miners. Um, when the miners aren't performing with silver, that tells me that they just want silver and not the miners. They want to sell the miners and buy silver. So that's how they're playing this right now. They're going to buy the metal and sell the miners. But Hecla looked like it wanted to pop for a little bit. Yeah, it looks great. I don't think it has much more. We'll see what this does at 66, 67, right in that range. Once it hits this upper Bollinger, let's see if it gets rejected off that or if it wants to push these up. I'm of the belief that these kind of all get rejected. Oh no, that one's pushing up. That might make a new high and keep going. Huh. This one I'm not sure about. Hecla definitely looked like it wanted to pop, but how high? I think it probably goes to 30 or so. Yeah, I just don't think I think you're rolling over on a longer time frame. And I think these are going to come way down. I think they're going to take a lot of this out of the market, just like they did the mega cap. I think they're going to start doing that with these now. I think people made too much money, and now if they're greedy, they're going to get it. They're going to lose it. I just have that feeling that that's what's coming here. Okay. Back to the Qs. We're holding that 5MA at 604. So we stay above 604. That's still bullish. We drop below 604. That's less bullish, but above 599.23, still bullish. All right, everyone. Be safe, be wise, be bold, and as always, good luck.